The fact that Raticate uses Restock does show how powerful this combination is. Raticate is actually a decent Pokemon in GSCNU. While it is a bit niche, it's a usable Pokemon in the tier, and something that you shouldn't underestimate. Raticate is one of the many normal types in GSCNU. Normal types are powerful offensively, and Raticate is no exception. Raticate has a good attack stat and excellent speed. It's also the only Pokemon to learn Super Fang, a move that chunks a Pokemon for 50% of its current HP. The main thing holding Raticate back is the fact that it faces stiff competition from other normal types, particularly Fearow and Persian. They are generally better as fast, offensive normal types. You can use Raticate alongside them, though. Raticate is a great Pokemon on normal spam teams. I actually expect Raticate to become more popular going forward, as people begin to explore it more. Let's analyze the mouse Pokemon. Raticate is used as an offensive normal type in GSCNU. It doesn't have the bulk to effectively use Curse, so just go with the immediate power of Double Edge. Raticate is very fast by GSCNU standards. With 97 speed, Raticate is notably one of the few Pokemon that can outspeed Xatu and Primeape. It outspeeds other big offensive threats like Magmar too. Raticate's 81 attack isn't amazing, but it's perfectly fine, especially considering Raticate is a normal type. Raticate has access to Double Edge, a high base power stab move. Normal is also an amazing offensive typing in this tier. GSCNU only has a handful of rock types, a single steel type, and a single ghost type. The rock types, like Graveler, Sudowoodo, and Pupitar, are not Pokemon you can slap on every team, and Ghastly is very rarely used in this metagame. The rock types aren't even great answers because of Super Fang. Super Fang is a cool offensive move. It deals 50% of the opposing Pokemon's current HP. A full health Pokemon taking a Super Fang takes half of its health in damage. Another Super Fang from 50% leaves the opposing Pokemon at 35% when accounting for leftovers. Super Fang is useful against Graveler, Sudowoodo, Pupitar, and Weezing. These Pokemon very rarely use Rest, and they want to preserve the longevity. Super Fang means they are not great answers to Raticate overall. Because the rock types and Weezing hate Super Fang, Raticate is very good at spamming its Double Edge, a Double Edge that 3KOs nearly the entire tier. Xatu, Primeape, Magmar, Hitmonlee, Sattler, all 3KO'd, and Raticate has Super Fang for bulkier threats. Super Fang does pair well with Double Edge, since you can Super Fang an opponent for 50% and then follow up with a strong Double Edge. There's few Pokemon who outspeed Raticate, so this combination is more effective. Restock is Raticate's primary set. With Restock, Raticate has better longevity and it isn't ruined by status. Restock lets Raticate switch into Pokemon like Chinchou and Dugong more times. Restock means Raticate is not ruined by paralysis, so it can switch into Pokemon like Chinchou, Porygon, and Gloom with less fear. Raticate can experiment with sets that drop Sleep Talk. Raticate does learn Screech, and it has the speed to use it effectively. Raticate can Screech an opponent before they move, and then pound them with Double Edge. Raticate can use moves like Bubble Beam and Thief on these kind of sets. Bubble Beam deals massive damage to Graveler and Pupitar, while Thief can steal leftovers from a bulky opponent. When team building with Raticate, there's a few things to keep in mind. For one, it's worse than Fearow and Persian. You should really use Raticate alongside them, and not use it as your sole offensive normal. Stacking normal types is acceptable, though, as it gives you immense offensive power. Spikes are useful support for Raticate and its teammates, as the chip they provide make Raticate and its teammates more threatening. Wheezing is a great partner. Since you are using multiple normal types, you stack weaknesses to Primeape, and Wheezing helps against that. Rock types are also annoying, so you should try to use something like Octillery. Raticate is a decent lead, since it outspeeds most other leads and is free to fire off its attacks. Raticate has some flaws that stop it from being more common. The primary thing holding Raticate back is the stiff competition it faces from other normal types. I am mainly referring to Fearow and Persian. Fearow is stronger, faster, and has a useful flying typing. Persian is even faster and has access to moves like Hypnosis. Persian outspeeds Fearow, Ninetales, and Rapidash, while Raticate is outsped by all of them. Both Pokemon are simply better than Raticate. Thus, you need to pair Raticate with them, restricting the amount of builds you can use Raticate on. Raticate only really fits onto normal spam teams. It also faces competition from Statler as a Restocker, since Statler has Earthquake for normal resists. Raticate has its own issues too. Its bulk is not very good, with Raticate being 3KO'd by almost everything. There's also several prominent Pokemon faster than it, like Fearow, Ninetales, Rapidash, Persian, and Dugtrio. Raticate isn't the easiest thing to bring onto the field, especially considering it has no resistances. Super Fang is also kinda bad at times. Its 90% accuracy can really bite you in the ass. Super Fang isn't that helpful against normal resists if they actually do run Rest, like Rest Shuckle, Rest Magnemite, and the rare Rest Sudowoodo. Raticate is a decent Pokemon in GSCNU, but it only fits onto specific offensive teams. Said teams are quite strong though, so Raticate overall has a place in GSCNU.